Giadiva Harja agus Falta Arashko Irish with Rosie. With Irish being one of the less common languages to learn, have you ever wondered if there are enough resources out there to even bother starting your language journey? Or maybe you've already started learning Irish and you've hit a few resource roadblocks. Well, I'm here to share with you all my favorite online resources for learning Irish so that you can get the most out of your language learning experience. Last time, I shared with y'all my personal collection of Irish language learning books, but today is going to be all about online resources, and most of these resources are free. And just to add, I'm absolutely not fluent in Irish. I'm actively learning, so I use most of these resources all the time. They've definitely helped me, so maybe they'll help you too. And all of the resources I'll talk about today, I'll link down below so you can go at your leisure and look at them. First, I want to share some language learning apps that should help you with Irish. The first app is Duolingo, and it was my first ever resource for learning Irish, and it's still one of my favorite ones. It's, I think, kind of a necessary app to have if you're going to learn Irish. It's absolutely free. There is a paid version of Duolingo called Super Duolingo. I don't have that, and I don't think I plan to get it. There's practically nothing that you can't do with the unpaid version of Duolingo. With Super Duolingo, as far as I know, the benefits are that if you get more than 5 wrong, you don't run out of lives and have to practice to earn more hearts. And I think they give you like specialized practice sessions tailored just for you if you have Super Duolingo. But again, I don't have that and I've never felt like I needed it. So basically it's free. Now, one downside that I don't like about Duolingo Irish is that there aren't unit explanations. For Duolingo Spanish, German, and French, I think some other ones like Japanese, there are unit explanations that kind of go over some of the basic structure and grammar that you'll encounter in that section. But the Irish course doesn't have any explanations, and you kind of have to just like intuitively get new concepts as you go. But with that being said, I do like it. It's very vocabulary rich, so you'll learn a lot of new words over the course of the course. It's a longer course than some, but way shorter than others. Like the French course, I'm probably making this up, but it's got like 130 units, whereas Irish has like 40 something. It's not bad, but it'd be nice if it was as long as some of the other courses. So, standard Irish grammar is taught in the Duolingo course, and the voice that reads the exercises is a Connacht speaker, I believe. So if you're interested in learning Connacht pronunciations, then that's just an added benefit. The next app we have is Rosetta Stone. Now, it is a paid app, but with this app and several others, what I've found is if you wait till around Christmas, New Year, or like Black Friday, usually they'll have really big discounts on the subscription. So like I got mine around Christmas, the lifetime version, and it was way reduced. I don't remember the discount, but it was a really good deal. Just like Duolingo, this has 0 explanations in it, and it's a very immersive style, even more so than Duolingo. And because of that, I would say personally, this is not a standalone resource. Now, as an accompaniment to other learning resources, I like the immersive style of Rosetta Stone, but I just don't think I could do it by itself. I remember thinking to myself before, wow, if I wasn't using some other resources, I would have given up by now just using Rosetta Stone because like I would be so lost personally. But it is a great addition to another app like Duolingo. A couple of things I don't love about Rosetta Stone is that it comes in the settings set to the learning mode being reading, writing, and listening being the learning mode, which is good. But I had no idea till I was like 5 months into doing Rosetta Stone that in the settings you can adjust that. And there's a level that's even more complete, and so I eventually switched it to reading, writing, listening, extended. Another thing about it is also in the settings, it comes preset with learn, sounds, characters, and letters toggled off. But I prefer to have it toggled on because it has a couple of extra lessons when you have it turned on to help you hone in on listening to the sounds of Irish, which I think is pretty important. So again, like 5 months into my Rosetta Stone, I realized, oh, I can change that, so I turned it on. A couple of things I do like about Rosetta Stone are that it comes with stories that you can read in that language for each unit, and an offline listening mode where you can just download the words and phrases from each unit, and it'll be like a 15-minute long session per thing that you download, and you can just put it in and listen to it while you do other things, like go for a walk or clean up around the house or whatever. Another thing I like about it is that Rosetta Stone has a lot of real-world, like situational phrases and vocab, way more so than Duolingo, I think. Duolingo has like sometimes a lot of nonsensical sentences in there that you never actually use, like there's a lion in the refrigerator, or the elephant is self-conscious, you are a duck, etc., which is fun and it does help you think on your toes, but I feel like Rosetta Stone is a lot more useful in the kinds of things it teaches you. And the audio for Rosetta Stone is Munster speakers, so if you're interested in learning Munster pronunciation, this is a great choice. Next, we have an app called Ling. Now, this one is also paid. The first 2 units, I think, are free just so you can try it. I've done their Irish course all the way through the first 2 units, and I enjoyed it. I haven't purchased the rest of the app yet, but I probably will at some point. I haven't used it clearly enough to give it a real thorough review. It's very Duolingo-like, and I like it. It's a really cleanly done app. At the end of each lesson, there's like a dialogue conversation, almost like it pops up like you're having a text conversation with a friend, and I think that's kind of neat. The speakers are Munster, just like Rosetta Stone, so again, if you're interested in Munster pronunciations, this is a great choice. Next, we have Memrise. Now, Memrise does not have an Irish course, but it does have some great user-made Irish courses, either general courses or stuff to do with specific things like irregular verbs in Irish. And Memrise is also, I think, a partially paid app or something. But anyway, all the user-made courses are free. Sometimes when you're using a user-made course, like a thing will pop up saying, unlock the whole course by paying this much or whatever, but just ignore that and click close because the whole thing's free, and I don't know why that pops up. My favorite user-made course on Memrise is a course that goes along with the books Buntus Cancha that I talked with y'all about in the last video. The course even has the audio from the CDs that come with the book, so it's really good accompaniment if you're already doing the Buntus Cancha books. Another great thing about Memrise is that you can make your own course tailored to whatever subject you like. It's really like a flashcard deck, basically, and it's the best flashcard type app that I've ever experimented with. And you can make it on any topic you want. You can have your course be private or public, and it can be on subjects like random vocabulary, useful verbs, etc. The next app is an app called Verb Blitz, which I find very helpful, and it's just all about drilling different Irish verbs, and it's helped me with my verb vocabulary. Okay, the next app is one of my favorites, and it is the TG4 or TG Gaeilge app. It's basically on-demand TV, all in Irish, and it's completely free. You don't even have to create an account or anything. There's all kinds of television programs. There's documentaries, dramas, children's programming is especially good to hear really simple Irish spoken. My favorite program to watch on there is Ros na Rún, and it's an Irish soap opera that's completely in Irish, and it has English and Irish subtitles. The last app I want to talk with y'all about is called Drops. Now, before you get excited, Drops does not have Irish yet. But the reason I wanted to talk with y'all about it is because it's just such a well-made app. It's completely about building vocabulary, not about really learning a language. And if you already have the Drops app, because perhaps you're learning another language too, like Spanish or Japanese, then I would suggest or ask you, if you go into the settings, there is a place in the settings where you can suggest a language, and I've been continuously suggesting Irish because I think if they did Irish for this app, it would be like one of the best ones out there. So if you already have it, then I would ask you, please, please, please suggest Irish so that it's coming from as many voices as possible, so hopefully they'll make that course in the future. Next, I want to talk with y'all about online dictionaries, and there are some great ones to choose from. And because of that, I don't own a physical dictionary at home. There's no need to. And I've looked for other languages, like more common languages, Spanish, French, German, and from what I've found, not even any of those more like popular languages to learn have a resource like the couple of dictionaries I'm about to share with y'all. So this is pretty amazing. Okay, first there's Foclóir.ie, and it comes in website form and you can get the app. On the app, you can only search English terms and get the Irish equivalent. On the website, you can search in both English and Irish. For most words, it gives an audio pronunciation for each of the 3 dialects, and it gives full breakdowns of conjugation and declension patterns and everything. If you look up a word like a noun, you go to the little part that says like mask 1, which would mean masculine first declension, and click on that, and then it'll open up a separate page where the whole declension pattern will pop up. If you look up a verb, you go to right beside the verb, click on that, and the whole conjugation will pop up. It's super helpful. The next dictionary is a related dictionary, and it's called Teanglann.ie. This is also a website and an app. The Teanglann app, you have to download everything for offline before it will function, at least last time I checked. Now, the reason I say it's a related website is because I think the same people who made Foclóir made Teanglann, and most of the same audio pronunciations are available on Teanglann. Now, Teanglann is a little bit more like detailed or thorough or whatever a website than Foclóir is. It has lots of tabs where you can find not only definitions but cross-references and sample uses, audio pronunciations, and there's even a neat tab that I like called Grammar Wizard. In the Grammar Wizard, you can choose different preset formulas, such as noun plus adjective, preposition plus noun, etc. Plug in different Irish words, and it'll do the work for you and calculate and show you what the correct forms of each of those words will be when put together in a certain formula. But anyway, those are the 2 main dictionaries that you'll need for Irish. Another website that isn't exactly a dictionary, but it's similar, is called Gaeilge, and it's basically this really, really neat searchable database for place names in Ireland. So you can enter in a place name's English name into the website, and it'll tell you the Irish version of the name and different facts and information about that place. You'll also find some really great searchable databases for phrases and idioms on websites like Unsrú, Charma.ie, Gaeilge.ie, and Podafocal.com. Now let's talk about some websites that are great for looking up or learning pronunciations, especially where dialect differences are involved. Now, obviously, the sound files that are available on Foclóir and Teanglann are like the best go-to that you can have for pronunciation questions. But there are some other great resources too when maybe you can't find what you're looking for on one of those websites. First, there's Forvo.com, and there are hundreds of Irish words on there, and you can listen to audio clips of speakers from Ireland saying those words. The next one is one of my favorites, and it's Aber.ie, and it's basically a voice synthesizer for the Irish language. It recently got updated, and the sound quality is like excellent. It's like you can barely tell it's a computerized voice. You can type in any word or phrase or sentence or sentences into the little text box, pick a dialect, and a voice will say that sentence or word for you. and it's pretty amazing. Occasionally it'll be a little bit wonky or off, but for the most part it's like really accurate and it's pretty cool. You can also speed the voice up, slow it down, or change pitch. Next there's Foclóir.ie, and it's the website that's meant to accompany this book that I showed y'all in the last video about the sounds of Irish. And it's a really, really, really good website. I would even say it's maybe more useful than the book is in some ways. You can search the website by letter combination or by phoneme. So basically you'll get like a drop-down list and you can pick, oh, I'd like to hear all the audio samples that feature a broad R or a long O, etc. And then you can listen to all those words in all three dialects. The next website is Dictionaries.org. Lots of words are available there in Irish, and usually each one will have a written IPA pronunciation beside it, a lot of times for all three dialects. So that comes in handy. This website is especially useful for looking up the pronunciation of words that happen to not have an audio file on one of the two dictionaries. Next, we have Duolingo.ie. Basically, you can go on there and you can listen to sample recordings made in the 1920s of native Irish speakers, reciting poems, reading stories, singing songs, or just reading a list of words like the basic numbers. You can use the website in multiple ways. You can search for an individual word and then you'll get a pop-up of the different recordings that feature that word. Or you can click on an individual county of Ireland that you're interested in and listen to all the recordings from that county. Next we have Rannafarshta.ie. It basically features audio samples from the spoken Irish of Rannafast in County Donegal, which is in the Ulster region. There are recording samples on there of specific sounds in Irish, and also there are recordings of people reading little short stories and poems and stuff. It's kind of weird because they have the readout that you can read or you can listen to the audio, but I like to read while I'm listening to it. So I'll usually just copy the exact link and open it in a new tab, start the audio sample going, switch back to the tab with the readout, and then I can listen and read at the same time. So that's my little trick. Okay, the last website in this category is super useful, especially if you're interested in the Ulster dialect. And it's a website called Memrise.ie. Now this website is written all in Irish, but it can be translated. Like I just copy and paste things in Google Translate, but I think there's also apps you can get that will translate whole web pages, so that might be helpful. But anyway, it's a pretty cool website because you can watch interviews of people from the Ulster region speaking Irish. There'll also be a readout of the interview, and then afterwards there'll be some different facts to notice about the interview that point out different unique things about the Ulster dialect. So if you're interested in Ulster Irish, I think you'll really enjoy that website. Next, I want to share some online books with you. So this first one's pretty cool. Author Barbara Hillers wrote 3 different books on the Irish language: beginner, intermediate, and a summer course. And she's was a professor at Harvard, and these are actually the books that are used at the Harvard Irish course, and they're completely free and they're on her website. So you can find those in PDF form, and I'll link them below. Next is a book called Now You're Talking. It's on PDF form on a website that I'll share with y'all. Also, there's an audio lesson for each chapter and a video lesson. You can also find the videos separately on YouTube, and I'll link those below as well. There's also Grammar na Gaeilge by the Christian Brothers. I think this is like a really classic book from like 1906 or something. I downloaded mine from Project Gutenberg, and I just downloaded it right to Apple Books, and I can read it whenever I want. Last, for online books, we have the Wayback Machine, or the Web Archive. On the Wayback Machine, you can borrow books, I believe, for free. I haven't done it yet because I just basically found this out a few weeks ago. I looked it up and searched for books on the Irish language using certain keywords, and there's some pretty good titles to choose from that you can just borrow and read right online. So I'll link some of the things I found on the Wayback Machine below. The next category of online resources has to do with grammar. Now, my main best website for this is Gramadach na Gaeilge on Duolingo.ie. It is, in my opinion, the best free grammar resource online. It's basically just like an online grammar book. Now, I've heard other people talk about this website, and basically everyone agrees it's the best free grammar resource out there online, but there are some mistakes on the website. I personally have only caught one mistake on the website, and I don't remember what it was anymore, but I just kind of took a mental note. But for the most part, it's very thorough, very accurate from what I can tell, and I like it. There is a German version of the website that I think was written first, and it's slightly more complete, and I've also heard people say there are fewer mistakes on the German version. Now, I can't speak German. Probably most of y'all can't speak German either. But as long as you get familiar with the general layout of the website on the English version first, you can navigate your way on the German website to like a general section that you'd like to know more about, and then Google Translate from German to English. Next is Untitled Chapter, and it means the official standard, and it's like the actual document that's the official standard grammar of Irish. It's available free on PDF. You can also buy a physical copy of the book from just about any Irish bookshop online, but might as well have it free on PDF. So I'll link that down below. It's written all in Irish, but again, you can use Google Translate to translate sections that you're interested in. And the last website that deals with grammar is called Teanglann.ie, and it means but Gaelic, and it says so right on the website. You go to it, it says but Gaelic. I don't know why they named it that, but I really like the website. There's some really well-worded summaries of grammar concepts on there that have really helped me multiple times. The next general category of resources is one of my favorites, and it's language forums. My favorite of these forums is called irishlanguageforum.com, and it's the forum I use the most. Everyone on there is like super helpful and super nice, and generally speaking, I don't think I've ever asked a question on there and not gotten a really nice, helpful answer. Most of the people on there are more advanced than I am, so that's helpful because they know more than me and they can help. A couple of times I've gotten the opportunity to answer someone else's question and help from what I know, and I hope I'll just keep learning and get more of those opportunities in the future. But most of the time I'm the asker, not the askee. There are at least 3 different sub-forums on irishlanguageforum.com. There's Irish and English, which means you can ask your question in Irish or English. There's Irish only, and there's also a Scottish Gaelic forum. Now, I will say this. We switched internet providers at some point, and now we're on Google Fiber. And as soon as we switched to Google Fiber, I was no longer able to access the website. It's like based out of Australia, I think, and maybe that's why. But I freaked out for a while because I was like, it's gone. But I realized if I just switch off the Wi-Fi before I go to it and go through cellular, I can still get on the website. So if you run into that problem, just try to go off the Wi-Fi and go through cellular. Next, we have Dalty.com. This is also a really good language forum. I haven't been on there in a while, but that's just because I started going more toward Irish language forum, because it seems like it's a more active forum, like there's more people on there. But Dalty is also good, and it's based in the US, I think in Boston, and some of the same people that answer a lot of questions on the Irish Language Forum are also active on Dalty.com. And of course, you know, because you're watching this video, YouTube can also be a great source for learning Irish. I hope that you found my channel to be helpful on occasion, but there's also some really great other channels from people who know more than I do that I think you should check out, and I'll list them down below in the description. So next is online lessons. One source that I think is really good is the Irish People lessons, and it's a series of like, I think 170 lessons in written form with written pronunciations that were originally published in a newspaper called The Irish People in 1997. There's 2 different websites with the same lessons that I'll link below, and it's free. The written pronunciations are Munster from what I can tell, so if you're interested in Munster, it's another great resource. Each lesson will generally deal with vocabulary, grammar, and a sample conversation. There are also some paid courses where you sign up and go through a course. I haven't done that. I may do it at some point, but I just haven't done it yet. Last, there's Instagram, which is a surprisingly good place to find some great Irish content. So of course you can check out my account, which I'll link down below, but I'll also link some of my top favorite other Instagram accounts that I think you'll enjoy. Alright, I think that's it. I hope that you'll enjoy some of these resources and they'll help you as you explore the wonderful world of Irish. I'll have all the resources that I talked about linked down below, as well as possibly some others that maybe I thought of in retrospect that I'll add after. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and a follow, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Facebook, but mostly Instagram because I'm hardly ever on Facebook. That's it for now, and I'll see y'all again soon. Slán go fóill!